Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me again on another Wednesday stream where we continue to work on our learning management system built with Livewire, Laravel, and Filament. Let me check just to make sure that everything is running smooth today, and it seems like it is. Let me pop the chat up, and Bugar already in the chat. Thank you for being here. So lovely to have you. Very happy to have you here. And we are going to start right away because I do have a few things. Thank you for the love on the chat. There you go. Sending it back. We do have a bit of an agenda today that I really want to cover everything. And I hope we have time to do that today. Real quick, jumping to the list of stuff. Last week, we covered a couple of tests regarding to the episodes. We managed to show the first episode of the course, at least the overview, and make sure that that's working. And also, if we want to see a specific episode of that course, we managed to test that and make sure that that is working. Today, what I want to do is make sure that we can see the list of episodes on the episode page so that people can jump around and see specific episodes if they want to. And also, I want to be able to see the video player on the page. And Tuan, how you do it? Hello from Vietnam. I believe you is this Tuan that left a question on the Livewire Bootcamp video? I think you just wrote in MVC with question mark, and I didn't really understand what the question was, or did I mislabel something on the video? I try to watch the video again to see what was the question, but I couldn't figure it out. So if you can elaborate here or in the comments, that'll be great. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. But yeah, regarding the video player that we are going to use, I think I mentioned this before. We are going to use Vimeo, and it's not going to be anything too complicated. It's just going to be the embedded iframe that Vimeo provides to just show a video player, an embedded video player on screen. And I think that's what most learning management systems do, at least Code Course. I think that's what they do. Latacast even. I think that's what they do. So that's pretty much the pattern that we're going to use here. Aid, how you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. So lovely to have you. And then once we have that showing up, I want to also rework everything and start using InfoLists because that is what we are using on the course details page. So I want to use that here as well. And to top it all off, I want to also create a custom InfoList entry for the video player because I almost spoke in Spanish there. Because there are entries, the list of InfoList entries that we have is useful, but it's kind of limited. And we have an entry for images, for example, but we don't have anything that will help us out with embedded videos or anything like that. So yes, we are going to try and cover that today. By the way, Tuto, do you use WhatsApp Business and Facebook ads? I do not, and I don't know what I would use that for, like for promotion of the channel and stuff like that. I don't even use Google Ads or anything. My channel is basically me posting a video and hoping people watch, and it's been good so far. I'm not very much of I'm not very good at promoting things that I do, and that's something I have to work on. But yeah, no, I don't use Facebook ads or WhatsApp Business. Okay, so let's get going, shall we? Let's start with the show list of episodes. I'm gonna go back to VS Code here. And first of all, as always, let's make sure that everything is running as smoothly as we want to by running all of the test cases that we have so far. Hopefully nothing is broken. Let me just check my PHP version again. We are still on 8.1. Let's run all of the tests and we are in the green. Perfect. All right, so let's create one more test case. We are in the watch episode test.php file. And I want a new test case for it shows. What do we want to show? The list of episodes. This probably is going to be very similar to a test that we already have. It's not if, it's it. There you go. I remember we have this already tested in the course details page. So I'm thinking we can cover this one real quick by just grabbing what we did already on that. So show course test. And yes, here it is. So show the list, the episode list. Yeah, let's just grab everything from here. That'll be quicker. Because it's basically the same thing. I mean, whatever when you're on the course details page, you see a list of episodes and you should be able to see that same thing when you're watching one of the episodes. So, oh, hi, the Penguin. How you doing? I'm doing great. How are you? So lovely to have you here. I think we can even simplify this one a bit. Thank you for the love. Thank you. Right back at you. So, for example, we don't really need the length in minutes in any of these things because we have already tested this. So I don't really need that. All I need is the episode title. I went a little bit too far on that. And also, since I don't need to see, what we can do here is maybe use a different assertion just to see the different types of assertions that we have. There's another one called assert C in order, I think it's called. And this will take an array. I'm doing great, brother. Thank you. That's awesome, dude. I'm glad. So yeah, this assertion basically it's the same as assert C or assert C text, but it's also asserting that the text that we are wanting to see, it shows up in that specific order. And it makes sense that you don't want the episodes to be jumbled. You want to see the first, second, and third episode in that order. So let's try that. This will be first episode. And then you want to see, second episode. And finally, third episode. Obviously, I'm not testing the show course. This would be the watch episode component. We passed the course, and just to recap a bit, again, this is something that we have done so many times now that you are very familiar with it. We just create a course for an instructor user using the instructor relationship. I'm not even sure we need that, but let's leave it there for now. And this course also have a list of 3 episodes with specific titles in them using a sequence. And then we create that and we pass that to the watch episode component. Make sure that we have no errors, and then we assert that we can see all of the episode titles in specific order. All right, let's try and run that, see the error. Perfect. Basically, we failed to see first episode in the render page or the render component. And it also includes this little text in specified order. Perfect. All right, so to clear this or to make this pass, let's go real quick to the view of the component, which is watch-episode.blade.php, which currently only has the current episode overview. And let me just make sure that, because we are going to need the course here, and I don't remember if that's already in the component. Let me open watch episode inside app livewire, and yes, we do have the course, and it's already initialized on the mount, so it's readily available in the view. So let's make use of that. To keep it simple, I'm just going to create an on order list and then use for each course episodes as, let's call it episode. And in here, I'm just going to use li and then just display the episode title. Again, just the bare minimum code to make the test pass. Nothing too fancy, nothing too complicated. We are going to refactor this anyway. Save that, run the test again. And we already have a passing test. Awesome. Let's make sure that nothing broke anywhere else. And we are in the green. We're with 13 passed test. Perfect. All right, so that's done. Now we are moving on to show the video player. This is going to be pretty simple too. So let's create another test case here. It shows the video player function. I need to create a course, and maybe we can grab some of the arrangements that we have. Maybe this one. Don't need anything too complicated. In this case, I don't need 2-3 episodes. Just 1 episode would do. So just creating a course for an instructor. Very important, I am setting the Vimeo ID in this case because that's what I want to assert in a second. And I think I mentioned this before. Vimeo IDs are just 9-digit codes that you get when you upload videos to the Vimeo platform. And I'm putting that in the episodes relationship and creating that now. I just need to, again, use livewire test watch episode. Mounting that and then passing the course. Assert OK, just make sure there are no issues. And what I want to do here is I'm going to assert C. and I want to see a specific HTML code rendered in the page. And it looks like this. It's going to be an iframe. And that iframe source will point to https://player.vimeo.com/video, and then the Vimeo ID, in this case 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, which is exactly this. I don't care about the rest. I'm just concerned, or I just want to see that part of the HTML to show up in the rendered component. And we need to pass false as the second parameter so that none of this is escaped. So I'm testing for this open tag, and I just don't want the render text to be escaped HTML. So I want that specific text unescaped. And I think that's pretty much all I need. Let's run this. All right, perfect. Now all I need to do is to actually render that iframe in the page, which is going to be pretty simple. We go back to the watch episode template, and let's put it up here. Let's put it inside a div just for the heck of it. And then we do iframe source https://player.vimeo.com/video, and then here we are going to use the current episode Vimeo ID, and then close the iframe. And that's it. That's all I care about. That's obviously this is going to, whenever we get to actually showing the video player, the code, the embedded code for the video provided by Vimeo does have a bunch of other stuff for styling and a bunch of parameters that configures the video player experience. But for now, this is all that is required. So save that, run the test again, and pretty much passing. Awesome. Let's try and run everything. Good. 14 passed tests, and everything is looking peachy. Let's see. This is good. And now we got to the part where, now that we have everything working and we have all the tests passing, we are in the green. Let's rework. Because yes, the tests are passing, but the code is not where I want it to be. I don't want to use plain HTML. I want to use InfoLists like we did before. Luis Alberto Oliveira, how are you? I'm great. So lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining me. So yeah, let's start reworking this. First of all, we are going to modify the component again to include an info list. Let's start with that. And if I remember correctly, I'm going to look at the show course component because we already did what we want to do in this component. for example, first thing we need to do is implement these two contracts in the watch episode class. So let's go ahead and do that. Implements has InfoLists and has forms. That's the first step. Second step is to use a couple of traits that will satisfy all the required functions in these two contracts. And let me check the names. Interacts with InfoLists, interacts with forms. And as soon as we do that, all the squiggly lines are gone and we're good to go. Next in the list is to implement the course. Well, not the course. In this case, it's going to be just a function that will return the InfoList component back to the view. And it is recommended for naming conventions. Do we need the render in this case? Yes, we do. Okay, let's put it in the same place right here. So it is going to be public function, and let's call it episode InfoList, right? So yeah, as a naming recommended naming convention is to use the model that this page represents, which is episode, and then the word InfoList after. It's not required, but it's recommended. And this is going to take in an InfoList, yep, and return also an InfoList. Oh, that's an extra line that I don't need. Okay, so we're going to return InfoList, and here is where we are going to configure, I think it's schema, right? Yeah, schema. And also we need obviously the record. What do we use for the record? Well, we already have an episode here and it's represented by the current episode. So that's exactly what we need to use for this. So this current episode. Interestingly enough, since we are going to use the current episode and we need to show the episode list, I think the course property is going to become obsolete or deprecated, because basically the InfoList is going to use this as a base for all of the entries. And one of those entries is going to be a repeatable entry, like we did with the course details. But we are going to need to do some back and forth, because we are going to need to use the current episode to refer to the course that episode belongs, and then get all of the episodes from that course. So it's going to be like going up and then down again. So I don't think we're going to end up needing this course variable, and therefore this is going to go away as well. When we get there, we'll see. For now, the one thing that we need just to keep everything working is, if we go back to the view, watch episode view, we're going to need an entry for the episode overview. And that's going to be a text entry. So InfoLists. And I think I need to add a use statement here. By the way, I think I've mentioned this before a few times, but don't feel obligated to use this kind of notation, because in my case, I like to do InfoLists components and then in this case, text entry make. But I understand that you, in some occasions, or some people wouldn't like to have this prefixed, and it's not necessary at all. It's just something that I started doing when I first started learning Filament, and I do think it reduces the number of use statements at the top, because you don't have to include the text entry and what was the other one? Repeatable entry. You only have one use statements, and then you use all of the components in that namespace, and that reduces the number of lines in the use statements. That's my preference. But if you feel more comfortable by just importing all of the classes like this, and then just adding that use statement at the top, that's also perfectly fine. So don't feel obligated to do what I do. Both instances are just fine and will work the same way. So we need a text entry for the overview. I believe I want a label for this, something about, maybe about this course. No, let's just leave it overview, to be honest. No need to go fancy for now. So just one text entry for the overview, and we do need another one. We're going to need a repeatable entry for the episode list, and I think we already have one, again, in the show course component. Let me see if I can find it. Text entry, there's a section. Here we go. Repeatable entry for episodes. So in this case, this is going to be interesting. Let's see if this works. Okay, InfoList repeatable entry, and then name. And then the schema for that will be what I need to see. Okay, actually, let's just copy this. That would do. All right, so back to here. Let's add that repeatable entry just below here. Fix the indentation. We're going to keep everything as it is. We already have the icon and the formatted length. That's already tested from the short course details, so there's no need to test it here as well. Multiple use statements are not bad in my opinion. That's oh yeah, I agree. It's a preference of mine, but it's not a bad thing. I mean, we are not fighting for kilobytes in the file size. That we're long past that how's it called? It's not requirement. The other thing. My English. I just forget words, and I know the word, but I can't find the translation for it. Anyway, we are long past that kind of restrictions. So yeah, if you want to have all of the use statements up there and it's not a bother to you, that's to each their own. Completely valid approach. And I used to do it like that. And I do it like that in most of my Laravel projects, but I don't know why. I don't know why with Filament I just got so used to this notation. Yeah. So we have the repeatable entry. The thing that we need to change here is because we are using the episode record, we need to, I think if we do course, because we do have a relationship, the inverse relationship from episode to course. Let me just double check that. Let's go to the episode model. And yes, we do have a course relationship here. So I think if we do course episodes, that is going to refer to the owner of this episode and then grab all of the, grab the collection of episodes using this notation here. Yeah, I think that'll work. So that covers the title already. And finally, let's cover this one last. So for this one, we are going to create a custom entry. Let's go to the documentation real quick. Let me get this bigger. So if we navigate to InfoList Builder, and these are the available entries: text, icon, image, color, repeatable, and then custom. This is what we need. There's a very detailed video about this, which I love. It's in Latacast. If you haven't seen the series, you have to. I mean, it's a requirement. Half of the course is free, and the more advanced topics is paid for, but you can't go wrong. I mean, it's well invested money if you want to see the entire series. So yeah, let's use this PHP artisan command to create our new custom entry. In this case, we're going to call it video player entry. And that gives us a class located in app, InfoLists, components, video player entry. Let's check that out. App, InfoLists, components, video player entry. And it's very simple. As of now, it's just a view, and that view is located in resources, views, InfoLists, components, video player entry, resources, views, InfoLists, components, video player entry. So this is all we have as of now. And the only thing that is going to be displayed in this component is just the state of that component, which is going to be, if you can guess it, the Vimeo ID. So let's use the component and then modify it to show the iframe. So if we go back to video player entry, no, not this one. Watch episode. And let's use it up here. So InfoLists. Actually, we have to actually include this, and it's going to be video player entry class. And that does require a use statement here. I've seen, in fact, if you watch the course, Dan. I always forget his name. I don't know why. I think it's the second, the hiring thing that throws me off, because every time I think of him, I don't know why I go to Harry. So I'm thinking of his last name, Harin, but I'm thinking his name is I don't know. It's weird. So Dan, if you watch Dan's course, what he would do is he used the entire namespace like this, just to make the distinction of where this component is. And that's okay. That's a totally valid use case. But since we already have the use statement up there, let's just do it like this. So video player entry make, and we need the Vimeo ID for this. So that's the only piece of information that we are going to use in the video player entry, because that's all we need. Anything else? Maybe it's going to show a label. By the way, I think I've been doing this to hide the label, but I think there is a label hidden. Is label hidden? Or hidden label? Yes, hidden label. So that will take care of hiding the label, and you don't have to use this hack that I was using as of me just not looking at the documentation. Then let's change this to hidden label. That looks way better. So yeah, this is our video player entry. But if we run the test right now, it's going to fail because we don't have the complete iframe tag in the video player entries view. So let's modify that before we even attempt to run all of the tests. What I want to see is I run the test again, and we're still in the green. So I'm going to take this entire thing, and I'm going to put it in the video player entries template, like so. And I'm going to take the get state, which will be the Vimeo ID value, and I'm going to put it here. Again, this is going to change a lot, I'm guessing, when we are actually looking at when we get to the visual aspect of this page, like we did with the show course details. At some point, we're going to step away from the test and just make sure that the page looks good. And at that point, probably I'm going to go back to the Vimeo side and just make sure that the code for the embedded video looks actually decent. So yeah, but for now, this is more than enough. Is there anything else that we need? So episodes, repeatable entry, overview, and Vimeo ID. So now what we need to do is, instead of showing all of these, we need to show the InfoList. And if I'm not mistaken, let's go back to the documentation real quick. Get state, get record name. Right, we need to add an InfoList to a livewire component. Passing data, no. Adding the InfoList, is this the one? Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to replace all of this with just the rendering of the InfoList, which is this, and how do we call it? Episode InfoList. Like so. All right, let me close a few things here, clean this up. And hopefully, crossing my fingers here, if we run everything again, I want everything to be still in green. After a rework, that's the goal, that you have everything passing, you do your rework, and everything is still passing at the end. So let's see if that's the case. Drum roll, please. Woo! We got it. Perfect. Now our component is reworked. We are using InfoLists, and everything is still passing. And we have a custom entry to show for. That's perfect. All right. Geez, I think that's all I had planned for today. That's the problem when everything goes according to plan. Time goes very fast. So rework with InfoList, custom. Oh, one more. Yeah, I almost forgot about this. I don't know if it's necessary though, but just for the sake of teaching, I guess, we can just create an assertion here. Shows the video player. Let's just create one for the heck of it. So it, not if, contains the video player entry. And all I want to do here is make sure that since I already reworked my my component to use InfoList, and I created one custom entry for it, I just want to make sure that once and I guess it's already covered in this one, but I'll show you either way. I just want to make sure that the final component contains that that entry as part of the schema. It might be useful. I know this test covers that, because if that wasn't the case, then we wouldn't see the actual iframe, but sometimes you do need to make sure that a form contains an entry without having to look at the entry value. So let's just arrange everything as it was, like this. And then copy this section here. So we mount that, pass the course. Oh, we should also reevaluate if we need the course, or if we just need the episode. I guess we do need the course, because what happens if we don't pass, we just pass the, I want to see this course, and someone clicks on watch now, there's a button somewhere in the course description. They're not clicking on the video or the episode link, they're clicking on the course. And if nothing is provided, they should watch the first episode. So I do need the course. I'm not using it in the final version of the render component, but I do need it to get the first episode if none is provided. So I think I'm just gonna leave it for now. It may change in the future, but for now it's gonna stay there. So we start okay, and then there is an assertion. I forget the name. It's not in InfoList. There is no testing section on the InfoList builder, but InfoLists are basically forms, read-only forms. So in the form builder, there is a testing section, and there is, in the fields subsection, we can use assert form field exist. In this case, we called it Vimeo ID. It may be redundant, but you may need it sometime. Who knows? Let's test this. Fail asserting that field with name Vimeo ID exists on the form with the name form. Oh, I think we're gonna have a problem with this because this test is asserting that is asserting on the class, and it has to be a field. I thought it would work, but it's not going to. This is more about form testing, not an InfoList testing. There's gotta be a test for the existence of an InfoList entry. I'll have to look it up. But in this case, then my fears and my concerns are validated. This is redundant. I don't need it. This covers it. Sorry for taking you on a long way, on a long detour to nowhere. But yeah, let's make sure that nothing broke on that little detour of mine. Everything is fine. Okay, so yeah, we don't need this. Or at least it's already tested. Perfect. All right. So yeah, it's going to be a rather shorter version today, but good because we managed to have time to do everything that we wanted and everything went perfectly. So next week we're going to do the same as we did with show course. I think we can step away for a moment from the testings. We have pretty much everything we need, and work on the the visual aspects of the page. Make sure that everything looks good, and I'm very excited for that because we get to see an actual page with the video player in it for an episode of a fictional course. So yeah, hi Erin, how you doing? Thank you for being here. I don't know if you've been here the whole time, but you're grabbing the tail end of the stream. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, everything went well, but that means that we compressed everything to a 45-minute window. I'm just getting this sign from absolutely no one saying wrap it up. All right, thank you so much for everyone to join me today. I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of put the Sundays streams on hold for the time being. I'm just going to keep the Wednesday one for now. I'm trying to come up with a good concept for Sundays. Also, I'm not sure I'm going to keep the same time for Sundays. Probably I'll just move it to Sunday nights just to be more accommodating and have more time. So yeah, for now, no Sunday entries, just Wednesdays. Thank you everyone for joining me. If you find this live stream helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.